Hello, this is where I try to do my best David Attenborough dialogue and explain what's going on in this little test that we did on Friday and Saturday, August 7th and 8th, 2026, of Graham's exciting new purchase of what is apparently called a trail camera. Basically, it's a discrete video recorder to capture wildlife discreetly in their natural environment. Here we are setting it up on the Friday evening around 8 p.m. in the little pathway at the back of Graham's house. We were hoping to catch our feral friend, and I use the term friend rather loosely, Sammy the black cat, when he calls to feed. Unfortunately for Sammy, we found some other visitors too. So cut to just after midnight, and the first guest at the feeding banquet arrives. It's a white cat from the neighbourhood. We don't know where it lives, and we hardly see it during the day. However, it is clearly owned, as can be seen from a collar it is wearing. Looks like Sammy is sharing, unbeknownst to him, with this white interloper. Sadly, the sound on this clip and so far is pretty much indistinguishable. I think either the microphone isn't very receptive or else we may have obstructed the receiver when we set up the camera. We'll have to check on that going forward. What is pretty clear, however, is the visuals, which Graham and I found rather impressive, given that there is no light whatsoever from any external source nearby, no street lights, no nothing, and the area is in pitch blackness. So it looks like our interloper stays for a good few minutes, meaning he or she probably has the lion's share of the food which was left out primarily for Sammy. Sorry, lad. Next up, we fast forward to 5:45 a.m. on the Saturday morning, and a cheeky winged thief flits in to have a quick pick through the leftovers. Obviously, he's nervous, and he or she, I should say, and they come and go a few times before finally taking flight. As Saturday morning progresses, the big fella himself finally decides to show. It's a few hours later and minutes before 8 a.m. when Sammy feels peckish and turns up at the table. Judging by the sorrowful look he seems to give and the fact that he doesn't hang around for long, we're guessing that his on-tap food supply has clearly been substantially depleted, if not totally scoffed, by the visitors prior to his arrival. It's rather pitiful, really, to watch the lad as he slowly slopes off into the distance, wondering where his next meal will be coming from. A little later, at 10:30 in the morning, Graham decides to take the camera inside and leave it in the living room for us both to have a look at later on and to inspect our findings. Still getting our heads around how to navigate the controls thanks to a less than helpful instruction booklet, we actually think at this point that we had nothing from the night before because we couldn't fathom out how to access the recordings and believed we'd captured nothing. We thought it wasn't working at all, hence we didn't realise when we captured ourselves here.
It didn't record us just then.
It did actually.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Still thinking we had nothing, and this is now Saturday evening, Graham and I have been scratching our heads with the workings of this device, wondering where we went wrong. At that point, we hadn't realised we'd actually gotten the earlier footage we've just watched. This was a nice surprise a little later. Just then, however, who else but the renegade rogue of the neighbourhood, Sammy himself, turns up at the back door. So we quickly put the camera back in its place to see if we can catch him eating. After all, he's probably hungry, having faced a mostly empty bowl this morning. We are glad to see that he finally gets a few mouthfuls of food after all. Then he strolls off into the night, and we take the camera back inside and discover the footage that we've just watched. Thanks for sitting through it. Cheers, everybody.